Hello guys! In this video, we're going to talk about the history of the Philippines, mainly its introduction and geography. What is geography? Geography is the study of the physical features of the Earth and its atmosphere. And we all know that geography is the study of the places and relationships between people and their environment. And as part of our lesson today, we are going to return here what is the graphic pictures of the Philippines. The geography of the Philippines includes the following. Number 1, location. Philippines is located in Southeastern Asia, otherwise known as the Timog Silangan, and consisting of 7,107 islands. Number 2, 3 main geographical areas. The Philippines archipelago is divided into 3 island groups, namely Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Luzon is the largest island in the north, accounting for 47% of the total land area, on which Manila is the capital city of it. Visayas are a small group of islands in the middle with 19% of land area. Mindanao is the second largest island in the Philippines, and it occupies 34% of the total land area in the southern part of the archipelago. This is also known as the Land of Promise.
In addition, the geography of the Philippines also has its own shape and size, neighboring countries, surrounding bodies of water, and the terrain endpoints. So let's first tackle the shape and size. In terms of its shape, it is elongated and the total land area is about 300,000 square kilometers, including 298,000 square meters of land and 2,000 square kilometers of water. The Luzon has 105,000 square kilometers, the Mindanao has 95,000 square kilometers, and lastly, the Visayas has 61,077 square kilometers. So let's go to the neighboring countries of the Philippines. So of course, the Philippines has a lot of neighboring countries such as China, Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, Brunei, Malaysia, Indonesia, Papua New Guinea, and of course, the Australia. So let's move on to the surrounding bodies of water. So the islands of the Philippines are surrounded by the West Philippine Sea, the Celebes Sea, Sulu Sea, and of course, the Pacific Ocean. So let's move forward to the last geographical characteristics of the Philippines, which is the terrain and points. So the Philippines is mostly mountainous, where all islands are prone to earthquakes. It is located on the western edge of the Pacific Ring of Fire, making it hundreds of volcanoes, in which Mount Pinatubo, Mount Mayon, and Mount Taal are the 3 of the most active ones. The highest point is the Mount Apu, which is 2,954 meters or 9,691 feet above sea level, and the lowest point is the Philippine Sea. And that would be all on the geographical characteristics of the Philippines.
The discovery of the Philippines. First of all, Philippines used to be colonized by the Spain on the 1500s. In 1521, European exploration of the Philippines began with Ferdinand Magellan. He claimed the island for Spain. Magellan is a Portuguese explorer for Spain who named the island after King Philip of Spain. They were then called the island Las Islas Filipinas. Unfortunately, Magellan was killed by a Dato named Lapu-Lapu after getting involved in a tribal warfare of the island. It was Sebastian Elcano who went back to Spain to speak of the discovery. Magellan's voyage was followed by several unsuccessful expeditions.
And in 1542, the Spanish conquistador Roy Lopez de Villalobos named island in the southern region, or the island of Leyte and Samar, Philippines. After the King Spain Philip II, in 1565, Miguel Lopez de Legazpi found a settlement in the southern island, now called the Visayas, which started Spanish colonization up to Luzon, northern region, for over 300 years. Las Islas Philippines remained a Spanish colony. Following the World War II, the country was officially named the Republic of the Philippines.
I think it's worth to mention that the Philippine map before compared today has a big difference, because the Spaniards included several islands and areas that legally owned by the Philippines. But that was before around 17th century. So, Philippines before was quite wealthy because it has a large source of resources, especially in natural resources. Example of that are copper, nickel, timber, gold, silver, petroleum, cobalt, and salt.
I believe that over the time that the Spanish want to claim more land in Asia to compete over the European conquistador The more land, the bigger our world map gets and the rich conquistador become. I believe that some nation or over-colonized nation have geography problem because of the confusing history.
Hi guys! In this video, we will be learning the formation of Philippine archipelago and how the Philippine was a whole. During the Philippine was formed due to explosion in Pacific basins. The Philippine was formed due to explosion of underwater volcanoes, resulting in piling up of molten rocks turning into islands. But according to Asiatic theory of Dr. Leopoldo Faustino, the islands were formed through the process of diastrophism. This explains the movement of the earth that caused some parts. It's either to rise or sink. This happens with the folding and wrapping of the earth. There are different theories how Philippine archipelago was being formed, but no matter what kind of theory there is, Philippines has lots of things to offer.
Plate tectonic theory. This theory explains that the Philippines was formed by the movement of Earth's crust. Believes that the movement of the lands are caused by the movement of these plates. Cretaceous period. Did you know that 100 to 65 million years ago, first islands in the Philippines were formed during this period? Bicol Peninsula, Leyte, and parts of the eastern Mindanao were pushed upward due to diatrophism. Pleistocene period. 6 to 10 million years ago, occurrence of the global period in the northern part of the world resulted in the formation of the Sondan Shelf, northern Philippines, Taiwan, Borneo, Sulu, and Palawan.
And that's all for our video. I hope you learned something from us. Thank you for watching!